Okay, today we're going to talk about how to test the pressure switch on a 90% furnace. As you can see, I have a manometer that I have teed into the vacuum lines going to the pressure switch. This will allow my pressure switch and my manometer to see the exact same thing. Okay, the pressure switch we're working on today closes at 1 inch of differential static. So when our manometer gets to 1 inch of differential static, our pressure switch should close. I have also connected a voltmeter across the terminals of the pressure switch so that I can also see when the switch closes to make sure that it's operating properly. So at this point, I'm going to turn the furnace on. It'll take a second here. And what's going to happen is combustion blower is going to come on and you'll be able to see my differential static pressure rise. And when it gets to 1 inch, it will close the switch. And the furnace should operate. If the switch was open, I would be reading voltage across the meter, which I'm not, so that tells me my switch is closed. And as you can see, the burner's just kicked on. Occasionally what will happen is these vacuum hoses where they connect to the cold end header box will become plugged up. And if they become plugged up, then the pressure switch cannot read the differential pressure. So you simply pull the hose off the cold end header box, and you can take a wire tie, a piece of wire, or what works really well is a pipe cleaner. Run that back down through the port, clean it out, and then put the hose back on, very simply. Now the main purpose of a pressure switch in a furnace is to prove that we have enough air through the heat exchanger for proper combustion. That is very important. So in this case, everything is working properly. We'll shut her back off, let it cycle down, and then I can disconnect my gauges. Now when you disconnect your hoses, you'll notice here on the pressure switch, there is a little burgundy looking piece of plastic. This is what we call a snubber. And what that does is a very small orifice that keeps the pressure from bouncing the pressure switch, making it chatter. So that is a snubber. And sometimes those get plugged up as well, or they fall out. Just make sure that you put it back in place.